lying down on your back with your feet flat on the ground, and you are just noticing what is touching the ground and what isn't touching the ground. So what part of your foot can feel the floor? Is it even on the right toes and the left toes? And then notice your sacrum, which is the bone between your two back pockets. There's a bone, right? Like if you're wearing jeans, you have two back pockets, and in between those two, in the middle, there's your bone, like your tailbone, or the big bone is called your sacrum. And notice if you're laying a little bit more on the left or a little bit more on the right. And see if you can even it out. So you're evenly right in the center of that sacrum. And then notice how much of your low back is on the ground. There should be a little space. You can use your hand, slide your hand underneath your low back. There's a little space underneath your low back. That's when your spine is in neutral, like its home base position. There's a little bit of space under there. And now your arm should be flat on the ground, palms up, and notice your shoulder blades. Your shoulder blades are like two triangles at your back. And ideally, they're laying flat on the ground. But you might notice that the outside edges of the triangle are kind of off the ground, whereas the inside edge near your spine is pressing on the ground. See if you can make your shoulder blades flat on the ground. And then notice a little bit of space underneath your neck. That space is probably bigger than the space underneath your low back, right? It's higher, it's a bigger cave, a higher cave underneath your neck. And then just go ahead and nod your chin like down, like you're saying yes, but you keep your head on the ground. And as you nod your chin down, it feels a little bit like a double chin. And that kind of stretches out the back of your neck. Okay, so that was just a check-in. Here's the movement. You don't need to watch because you won't really be able to see me very much. Just holler if you're confused. Imagine that you have a clock on your stomach, okay? Like one of those clocks that are circular, and it has a 12 on the top and the 6 on the bottom. Can you picture it? And now, imagine the 12 is at your belly button, and the 6 is at your pubic bone, which is like right at the bottom of your pelvis, or where the bottom of your leotard would be. So the 12 is at your belly button, and the 6 is at your pubic bone. Yeah? The 3 is towards the left, and the 9 is towards the right. Can you picture that clock there? If someone was standing at your feet, they would see that clock upright. 12 at belly button, 6 at pubic bone, 3 on the left, 9 on the right. I'd like you to tilt the clock back and forth from the 12 to the 6. It looks like a pelvic tilt like we've done many times over the summer. So you're pressing down at your belly button so that the 12 goes towards the floor and the 6 goes towards the ceiling. Or you can think about it like there's a marble on top of that clock, and the marble is rolling from the 12 to the 6. 12 to 6. If you're still confused, don't look at me if you're not confused, but if you're still confused, you can look at my fingers. They're moving in the direction that my pelvis is going. 12 and 6. All right, now stop in the middle, put that marble in the center of your clock, and I'll make the marble go from 3 to 9. You're pressing down towards the 3 and then down towards the 9. ground, and your legs shouldn't be together. It makes it harder to move. Your legs should be like hip distance apart. And we're rocking from 3 to 9. Now, can you do that without making your legs move side to side? Like, one knee might go towards the ceiling more than the other, but your legs are not rocking from side to side. They're staying still, maybe like your legs are like toast in a toaster slot. All right, now go from 12 to 3 to 6 to 9, back to 12. So we're going in a circle. Imagine that marble going to all the times on your clock. Don't forget the in-between numbers. 1, 2, the 4, 5, the 7, 8, the 10, 11. You're light on your feet. Your legs are not going side to side. You're just moving the clock in your center. All right, bring your clock back to center again, like neutral, and we're gonna go the other direction. So whatever direction, I was going clockwise, 12 to 1, 12, 1, 2, 3. Now, whatever direction you were not going, do that side, do that way. So I'm going counterclockwise from the 12 to the 9, to the 6, to the 3, back to the 12. Let's do that circle 3 more times. 3, 2, and 1. And stop in the center and just notice, was one direction more difficult than the other? Is there a part of your clock that was difficult to move? Okay, we're gonna do it one more time clockwise, or we're gonna go one direction and the other direction, and just notice if there's a part of your clock that's hard to move through. So everybody start at 12 and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And relax. Now go the other way. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to 12 and back to neutral. All right, everybody lie down on your right side. Legs bent, arms bent, or bottom arm bent. This one's not gonna take as long. We're gonna do book opening. So that's what this exercise is called. Your hips are gonna be stacked like in a line, like you have a glass of orange juice on your left hip. Don't let that orange juice fall off. Bring your left arm in front of you. And now open all the way up and notice, just notice if your orange juice would fall off of your hip. And then come on back. So continue doing that at your own pace. Ideally, like about, like maybe, I don't know, 5 seconds to open, 5 seconds to close, something like that. Even more if you want to. But go as slowly as you need to not drop the imaginary orange juice from your hip. And if you can't feel it, take a look at your hip. Imagine like you can see that orange juice sitting on your hip. Notice if it falls off or if it would fall off. 2 more. And on this next one, go as much as you can go, and everyone's maybe going to be different. and hold the most rotation that you can be in, like go as far as you can, and hold that position. Check down at your hip, make sure that your hip hasn't moved, that you could still balance that glass of orange juice on your hip. Just take notice of how close your left shoulder blade is to the ground. How far, or if there's any space, how far it is away from the ground. Notice where you're holding tension. Notice if you're feeling a stretch along your chest, or your forearm, or your hand. I mean, you know we're not stretching our hands here, right? But you might feel a little something at your hand. Maybe you feel a little bit of tingling. That's a nerve stretch. You don't want that to happen for too long. And then come on back. Switch to the other side. All right, stack those hips. Let's put a cup of coffee on her. Maybe you guys don't drink coffee, huh? I know Ashley and Matt do. Glass of water. Let's have a glass of water or a morning smoothie on that right hip. And then you are gonna open it up. And I know for me, it's harder to control here. But just notice for you, like, which side is harder for you to control? Can you keep that water on your hip? Is your left thigh coming off the ground? Can you reach your right shoulder blade all the way to the ground? Or is this limited compared to your other side? For me, I'm able to rotate more on this side, but it's harder for me to keep the glass of water on my hip, especially when I'm trying to come back forward. Let's do one more and hold that position open. Again, notice where you feel the stretch here. What part of your body is holding tension? Do you feel a stretch on your chest, your arm, your hand, back, maybe along your hip, and then come on back. All right, lie on your stomachs. How's everybody doing, Ashley and Matt? Okay. All right. I would like you're lying on your stomachs, and let's put your hands by your shoulders and push yourself up like you're gonna do a seal stretch, and notice where you feel this. Is it a stretch at your stomach? Do you feel pain at your low back? Does it feel, and even if it's not pain, is everything feeling like it's happening at one part of your back? Like you feel no pinch at your upper back, but tons of pinch at your lower back. And then come on down. And now put your forehead on your hands. So you're looking down at the ground. And you're gonna lift your left leg up. Hold that left leg up. Notice how high it gets off the ground. Just, imagine how much space there is underneath your left foot. Notice if you feel a pinch at your back. Notice if you're pressing forward with your right leg. Like, do you feel like you're really trying to push down on the floor with your right leg in order to pick the left leg up? And now switch sides. Pick up the right leg. Notice how high that can go. Does it feel like a pinch at your low back? Are you having to push forward with your left leg to lift up your right leg? Okay. Just wanted you guys to feel that you're normal, your baseline when you do those moves. Now, tuck your toes under, kind of like your toes would look like if they're about to do a push-up. Just tuck so you're flexing your feet. And now, reach your heels to the wall away from you. lifting the backs of your knees towards the ceiling. So now your legs are straight, your feet are flexed, there's space underneath your shin, there's space underneath your knees, maybe there's space underneath your thighs, and then put those knees back down. So we're going to straighten and bend the legs a couple times here. Ready? Straighten the legs, lifting and then reaching with the heels. That's the important part. Reach away with the heels. Like someone's pulling you from your heels, trying to make you longer. And then bring it back down. 2 more times. Reach with the heels. Reach until you can't anymore. You might start to feel your core engage as you really try to reach with those heels. And then come down. And then last one. Reach. And then bring them down. All right. You can relax your right leg. So like release your right foot so that it's flat on the ground. Now your right toe's kind of like pointed-ish. Your left toe is still flexed. Now do that same thing that we just did. Reach with that heel. Yeah, so your left thigh is off the ground or left knee is off the ground. And now, with that same reach, point the toe. Leg is lifted off the ground. And then flex it so your toes go back on the ground. And then relax your whole leg, but your toe is still, like your foot is still flexed. Okay, that was a little confusing. Let's do that again. So we're doing the same thing that we're doing before. You're gonna reach with your heel until you can't reach anymore. And then when you can't reach anymore, slide that foot out until it's pointed and the leg is lifted. Kind of like your back leg would be for a leap. Now flex it, and then put the thigh down. And last time on that left side, first reach with the heel, lifting the back of the knee off the ground, or like back of the knee towards the ceiling, and then slide that left toe out to point it, maintaining that reach. Hold it. Notice where you feel the tension here. Are different muscles working to lift that leg up than they were before? Do you still feel the strain at your low back or wherever you had it before if you had some? Are you still pressing forward with the right leg into the ground? With that left leg still lifted, can you relax your right leg and keep that left leg still lifted? Does that change things? All right, put that down. And then let's do the other side. So the left leg is relaxed on the ground. Right foot is flexed. Toes are on the ground like the right foot is about to do a push-up. And then reach with the heel. Slide the toes, point, keep that lift in the leg, keep the reach in that right leg, and then flex the foot, and then let the thigh down. And then again, reach with the heel, point the toe, flex the foot, and put the thigh down. And last one, we're gonna hold it. Reach the heel, slide and point. And again, notice if what muscles are working, where you feel the pinch. Are you pressing forward into the ground with your left thigh? If so, relax the left thigh and see if you can keep the right leg still lifted. And come on down. Nice. Okay. Have a seat with your legs out in front of you, slightly apart. I'm on a small bench, so I can't bring my legs like to a big straddle, but I don't want you to be in a big straddle either. So like this big. All right. So those bones that you're sitting on, your butt bones, in yoga they're called sits bones, and dance often called sits bones, but then like in anatomy they're called ischial tuberosities. Let's just call them your butt bones, okay? Or your sits bones. So you're sitting on your sits bones, and notice if one feels off the ground. See if you can be anchored equally on your right sits bone and your left sits bone. Now put your hands on your shoulders here and twist. And twist the other way. You can actually have flexed feet. Twist and twist. And all I want you to do is notice or try to twist without moving those sits bones. Like when I twist to the left, my right sits bone wants to slide forward, and I have to work to keep it back. Twist. Can you twist more one direction compared to the other? All right, now everybody twist to the right, and then reach your arms in a diagonal. Then round over, so not flat back, but round over, and keep your left sits bone on the ground. It wants to lift maybe. Imagine that someone's holding you right at your left hip to keep it down, or you can use your own hand to keep that hip down, and then stack yourself back up. Twist the other way, round, reach your arms, and then round forward, keeping your right sits bone on the ground. Stack yourself back up. Let's do that 2 more times each way. Twist to the right, reach the arms, round over, keep the left sits bone on the ground. Stack yourself up. Twist to the left, reach the arms, round yourself over, keep your right sits bone on the ground. Stack yourself up. Twist, reach, round, stack, twist, reach, round, and stack. All right, onto your knees. Everybody put your right leg in front of you. My head's cut off, yeah? It's okay. Oh, and tuck your left toe under. So I'd like you to shift and stand up from this position. Not stand up, but kind of stand into a lunge. And I want you to notice what muscles are working. So relax for a second. Like you could be really feeling this at your knee, for example, or your quads, your hamstring, or your glutes. Maybe you feel it at the front of your back leg. So I want you to do 5 of them, just knowing what, like just do it and see where your body naturally does it, like where you naturally feel it. And then I would like you to do 5 of them, really trying to get your right glute to work when you do it. Okay, so let's do 5 of them, just noticing what happens. Ready, lean forward. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, where did you feel it? You can think in your head. Now 5 of them, really purposely trying to get your right glute to work. You can trying to squeeze it in this position. You can try pressing into your right heel. You can try changing the position of your upper body, and that'll change how you feel it in your leg. So let's do about 5. You can do it your own pace, experimenting the way you want to see what happens, like if you change your position or change where you're pressing into the ground, right? This is the same exercise. Like someone could assign this exercise to you, but depending on the way that you decide to do it, you might feel it in different places. For me, I want you to feel it in the front glute. Okay, switch to the other side. If you're on hardwood floor and you have knee issues, you probably want to put a sweatshirt underneath your knee. All right, tuck that back toe under and just notice where your body naturally does it. Lean and come up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now granted, your back leg might be feeling it a lot because it's already tired from the other side, but where did you make that motion happen? Okay, now really try to get that front glute to work when you do the exercise. Maybe change the position of your trunk, maybe tuck your tail under a little bit more, and see if you can get that left glute to work while you're doing the exercise. All right, and have a seat. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, that was a lot of thinking for a vacation morning. We are gonna go through all those. We're gonna do a standing one, and we're gonna go all through those positions again. And it's not gonna be as slow. We're just gonna be like exercising, and we'll go for about 10 more minutes. Okay, guys? Any questions? Okay, let's start on standing because that's the position that we didn't do yet. And take a look at your feet. Where do they naturally stand? Are your toes going face forward, or are they turned out? Now granted, some people are naturally, like, just their foot turns out naturally, so it's hard to get them to go their feet straight forward. But just where do they naturally go? And then let's see if we can get your knees to face, like with your feet forward, or if you're with your feet in one position, twist your knees so that they're going, kneecaps are going inward, like they're cross-eyed. And now twist it out so they're going past your feet. Go in and go out. Now have the knees go straight over your toes, straight in the same direction as your toes. Kneecaps are going straight in the same direction as your toes. And then check in with your feet. How much of your foot is touching the ground, the arch of your foot, on the right side versus the left side? There should be a little space underneath the inside of your foot. Like if you could like reach underneath, there's like enough space for a fingers to slip under. Now, some of you have more flat feet than others. Some people that I know very intimately have more flat feet than others. But like, try it. Put your feet underneath, put your hand underneath your arch. And then keep the balls of your feet on the ground and your fingers underneath your arch. Now, can you slip your fingers out and keep the space underneath your arch of your foot? Check in with your toes. Did they scrunch? Try to unscrunch those toes. And now stand up and maintain that arch. Now stand on one leg and still maintain that arch. Now do a little bit of a squat on that side and still maintain that arch. Stand up and then switch sides. Check in, make sure there's space underneath that inside of the foot. Now stand on that one leg. Side is harder for me. Notice if one side is harder than the other. And then bend a little bit, keep that arch, and then straighten, and then come down. All right, lie back down on your backs. Put your hands behind your head. Elbows are going to be out to diagonal, not here, not like you're covering your ears and eyes. Open out so you can see your elbows up, your peripheral vision out of the corners of your eyes. And you're going to exhale, curl up. Inhale, come down. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, come down. We're going to do about 20 of these. You are going to notice a few things as we go through the 20. Try to not let your belly pop up as you curl up. Keep that six-pack nice and flat, or what might be a six-pack. I don't have a six-pack, but don't let the pouch of your belly pop up as you curl up. Your low back, we are actually not in hollow body position. There's a little bit of space underneath your low back. Maintain it. We're just lifting the upper body. The lower body is just chilling. It's just kind of staying still. You're light on your feet. You're not squeezing your glutes. You're keeping your belly scooped in. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Put your hands by your side. Tuck your tailbone under like we did before, rocking to 12 o'clock. And now one section of your back of your spine at a time. Lift up and then come on down. So peel your back off the ground like you're one of those Amazon packages that just came in the mail. Peel the tape off that box. One section at a time. And then lay it back down like that box. That gift was not yours. Put the tape back down. Peel it up. Lay it back down. 4 more. 4, 3, 2. Hold the next one up. 1. Bring your right leg up into the air. Make circles with that right leg, trying not to let that right leg knock you around. Your right leg is freely moving in a circle. Everything else is staying still. Check in with that left leg. Make sure it's not coming out. It's staying still. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Other leg up and circle. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, lie down on your side. Let's start on the right side. Let's have your right elbow on the ground. And then you could be slouchy for a second. Now lift up from that bottom side. Straighten your left leg and then flex and kick forward, point and kick back. Flex and kick forward, point and kick back. Forward and back. Have the other arm on your hip so that you're not using it as like a balancer. But keep that other arm off the ground, right at your hip. And 6, 5, 4. Make sure that there's space between your shoulder and your ear. 2, and 1. Put your left foot slightly in front of your right. Come onto your hand, right hand, and lift up into a side plank. Yeah, it's nice. I can actually see you guys. Some of you guys have your hands on the ground. Can you balance? All right. If this is challenging enough, have it just be. If it's not challenging enough, can you scissor that top leg up and down? I can only do enough to just demonstrate to you, but I have this right here is challenging enough for me. And if the scissoring up and down was easy, lift it up and kick forward and back. Oh my gosh. You guys are gonna see an accident is about to happen over here. All right, switch to the other side. Onto your left forearm. Slouch it down. Just relax for a second and get a stretch here. Then lift it up. Straighten that top leg and kick forward and back. Notice if you're scrunching at your waist. See if you can do this without scrunching up at your waist. Like if you had a stripe along the side of your leotard, that stripe would stay flat and straight because we're only moving at our hip, not moving at our waist. Trying. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Top leg slightly in front of the bottom. Come on to that bottom hand. You guys are gonna notice whether or not this is easier on this side or not. And then lift up. Nice. Some of you guys are like rounded like this, and that is a different exercise. Let's try to get flat. Flat like a triangle. Okay? And if this is too easy for you, or if you want the next challenge, lift that leg up and down. We'll only do a couple. And then if you want the next step, kick that top leg forward and back. All right, go onto your hands and knees. You are going to, which one shall we do? Let's reach our right leg out to the right, like doggy on a fire hydrant, and left arm out to the left. So there are two 90-degree angles, one at your right knee and one at your left elbow. Actually, at your right hip too. Here we go, up and down, open and down. If this is too hard for you, you can put your arm down. There's no shame in deciding that you need one level down in order to make the exercise go well for you. You should feel it at your hip and at your core and at your right shoulder. 3, 2, and 1. Other side. That was about 10. Let's do 10 on this side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, instead of sitting and standing, we're gonna get a little stretch in. So you guys gotta stay flexible while you're out of the gym, yeah? Okay, tuck your toes under, reach your hips up, open at your shoulders. This might be a bit of a stretch for people. So you can like come in and out of the stretch if you want to. Like you can alternate your feet or bend your knees a little bit. But as much as you can, open at the shoulders. Send your sits bones back. Have your kneecaps facing the same direction as your toes. That might make the stretch feel a little bit different on the back of your calf. And we're gonna hold it for 8 more seconds. Try to breathe into it. Try to tell your brain to relax in this position. And done. All right, for the last bit, last thing, we're gonna stretch out our sides. So you can do this like sitting crisscross if you want to. Put your right hand on the ground like a post and reach up and over. Don't just collapse into it, yeah? This right arm is like a post and you're going up and over it. Now round slightly forward and you probably will feel it a little bit at your back. Make sure your left sits bone is staying on the ground. And now rotate a little bit, look towards your ceiling. And maybe you feel this a little bit more at your chest or a different part of your side. And come back. Other way, keep your right sits bone on the ground. Come up and over that left arm. And then round forward a little bit. Come up to the ceiling a little bit. And come on down. Reach your hands behind you, chest forward. And we are done. Thanks, guys. Hope you had, you're welcome. You're welcome. I hope your bodies feel good. You're welcome. You're welcome. Did you do it? Actually, I didn't get to see. I saw Matt doing it. All right. Well, if you guys have any requests for next week, let me know. Even the beginning? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.